the Empire State Building.
Z100 New York.
Well, welcome inside of our Z100 Artist Interview Lounge.
Hello.
We have a full house. Round of applause for Myles Smith. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I mean, I've been experiencing the warm heat here in New York, spending time with some amazing people. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm happy to have you. This is our first time that we get to hang out. So we're excited to learn about you because we've been playing you on the new hit list nonstop all across the country. We know that you have over 500 million global spins.
My word.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. It's like, to be fair, I can't really believe it, but I'm like winging it and loving it. And I've got a good team around me who help me do that. So yeah, super appreciative that it's all happening.
Well, we're happy that you started off organically. You were posting covers and those started going off. And then you decided to bring your own sound into your music. And that's been going off pretty well.
Yeah.
So from going to covers and now making your own stuff that people are loving, how has that transition been?
It's been like sort of really, I guess, fulfilling, but at the same time like humbling, because when you do the cover thing, it's always like you can rely on people already loving the songs, and like bringing your own flair to it is a pretty cool thing to do. But it's making that full transition to my own music, which is, it was scary at the start not knowing how it would be received, but then to be received with such like warmth and love from like around the world, it's just been, yeah, just super fulfilling and really nice.
And it's one thing to see love online. We, during the pandemic, saw a lot of interaction with our friends and throughout the world. But now you're on tour. You're on your global tour. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not a lot of artists get to do that. And you're seeing your fans sing to you in person. What is that like?
I can't describe it. I mean, I remember the first few like gigs. I remember like looking behind me when I came out on stage, like it's like Lewis Capaldi had cheering behind me, because I was like, why are these people screaming? I couldn't make sense of it, because you go from sitting behind your phone and seeing numbers on the screen and then realizing that these are real people with real lives. And when you step into those rooms and you're able to, you know, be with people who support my music and connect with them, it's so surreal, but just something that I'll never take for granted. So it's been been wild, but in the best way.
Has there been a fan interaction that you were just like, okay, this is different. I didn't think we were going to get here yet.
Oh, I've had a few.
What's happened? What stands out?
I've had people like come up to me and tell me about like where I was born and how I grew up and like old friends' names, and I was like, yeah, this is like wild. But I was like, if that what makes you happy, like let's do it. But I think the level of interest in my life has been something that's new to me. And I'm like, if you want to know what I eat, I could tell you, but it's pretty much sausage rolls from service stations across the world, and that's it.
Sausage
Love
rolls.
it.
we don't have those out here, I think.
Oh no! I'll bring them out here. I'll bring them out
here.
here.
We have the bagels, the sausage bagels.
I'll go try it.
Yeah, the classic bacon, egg, and cheese and all that. Have you had one yet?
I actually stopped eating meat, so I might, you know what? I might cheat and give it a go.
When did you stop eating meat?
Like a few years ago. It wasn't for ethical reasons. It actually,
it was.
It was for a bet. It was for a bet, and it stuck. My friend that I grew up with bet me $250 that I would stop eating meat for a week, and like 3 years later, I still don't eat meat. So
you haven't had any meat?
No.
Did you get the money?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. And, you know, it turned out pretty cool. So
how do you feel? It's 3 years is a long time.
I know. There's times, especially like on tour, where it's like 1 a.m. and you're so tired and you pass like a McDonald's and all you want is a Big Mac. And I'm looking at my whole team like, I hate all of you right now when I'm eating a fish fillet that I'm not sure is fresh. And in those moments, I miss meat.
Yeah, you know, I do love me a fish fillet though.
Ooh,
that used to be my order. That used to be my go-to.
You try get one in the middle of nowhere. That's a risk.
It's crusty.
Yeah, it's crusty as hell.
Oh no! Wow. Wait, so you're a vegetarian because of a bet?
Yeah.
Is there other stuff that you don't like to eat?
No, bad food.
Yeah. Oh, so you keep it healthy.
I try. I try to. I mean, I lie to myself. Like for a tour, like the first 2 days, I'm like, you know, salads and salmon. Day 3 is a mess. So yeah, I try to.
And I mean, you're so busy on the road. Do you have time to? I don't know. What is your go-to to keep your mental straight? Do you meditate? Do you try to work out? What do you like to do?
I like the word try. Yeah. I try and fail miserably. But I think for me, it's I tour with my best friends, you know, like my management are my best friends, like my team are, and just being able to talk and be open and talk about how we're feeling and keeping each other in check the whole way just makes it easy. Like I could be unequivocally myself without ever having to hide if I'm stressed or annoyed or tired. And it's such a privilege touring with such a great group of people, so they do half the work for me.
Oh, so you feel like you can just be yourself and not be judged, and if you're having a bad day, you can just open up about it. And
Like my guitarist, I've known since I was like 10 years old, and so if I'm annoyed at him, I don't have to do the whole like, can we politely have a sugar-coated conversation? I could just be like, just shut up, please. And he'll tell me the same thing, but there's something so rewarding in that. And, you know, having that openness in the camp just means that everything's solved immediately, and you never have to just sit there and let it sit and, you know, grow in your mind.
So were you traveling with a band at a young age? How do you still have a guitarist from when you were 10?
Yeah, so we met, you know, we actually met when I was playing in like open mic nights and pubs. I don't know if pub culture's the thing here, but like bars.
How old were you?
I was too young to be in there, but yeah, I started at like 10, 11 playing those venues.
And what, your parents put you in classes or?
No, I taught myself everything I know. So like I was terrible at sport, like, you know, football, soccer, whatever you call it, and etc. Like I was the kid that would love to have been great at it, but I was terrible. It was like, you know, like bleep test after lap one, I was like out of breath. I was like,
You
remember the bleep test, right?
You were always like last to get picked on the teams,
that was me.
Oh,
and I was like, young me was like, damn, I've got to be cool somehow. So the next thing you do is music, right? And I just fell in love with it. And, you know, from early I wanted to be able to show people my ideas and my terrible songs at the time. And
did you pick up the guitar first?
Yeah, picked up the guitar.
You learned on YouTube or just through
yeah,
people?
Learned on YouTube and books. Like my mum was tired of paying for me to do clubs because I'd be like, football, quit a week later, basketball, quit a week later. And she was like, we are not doing this anymore. So she was like, you know what, I'll get you a guitar, but you could teach yourself a little bit, and if you teach yourself a little bit, I'll get you lessons. And then like by the end of week one, I was playing songs and etc. And she was like, oh, like you ready for lessons? I was like, no, I love the process of teaching myself, and did that, and then went on to do it with piano as well. And yeah,
what first guitar songs were you picking up? Who were you learning from?
I loved, like, I had a real phase of like punk, so I like loved Green Day for a big part of like growing up, and then it was like singer-songwriters like Ed Sheeran and etc. and like Mumford and Sons that came about. But yeah, I was like a real like rock fan like growing up, and I think that's why I gravitated towards the guitar at the start.
Have you been able to see some of those artists?
No, they're all based here. And you know, like back then where flights were, you know, you didn't even know they're real. They seemed like these magical things, transatlantic flights, when I was growing up, and so I never got to come out and see them, but hopefully one day I could see them.
It will happen. Have you met anyone that got you starstruck yet?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know a band Bastille out here, but
yeah,
it's cool. They made it over. Sweet, they are
yeah,
amazing.
They did make it over. They were big out here.
Yeah. So Dan is someone I work with now, the lead singer of Bastille. But I remember the first session that we did together, and it was a case of like me. It was that weird professional thing where you're like, do I tell him I'm a huge fan, or do I just pretend like this is professional? And then within 5 minutes, I showed him about like 6 pictures of like clip art like edits I'd made of myself with their album covers and
like fan montages
covers I'd done when I was like 12. And I remember him looking at me like, yeah, that's really cool, mate. And like now we're friends and we write a lot, but I remember him probably thinking, who the hell is this, or what am I doing in this room?
Oh, that's
but
so cool.
I had to keep it real. Like, what's the point in trying to pretend I didn't know?
So he was like a little flattered, but also
flattered, but definitely creeped out. You know, I'm just staring at him like, you know, I love you, I love you, Dan.
Oh my god.
He's like, cheers, mate.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That was
and
awesome.
Now you're on your own, like I said, the Slightly Less global tour. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've added dates, Europe, Africa, New Zealand. We are also seeing that your shows are getting sold out. When you post that, it says sold out, sold out, sold out. Irving Plaza here in New York City.
Yeah.
You are sold out for the fall.
I know. That's wild. Because we sold out the North America run about 3 months ago, I want to say. So for for me, I remember when my agent Ira, when he first proposed the plans of doing a big tour, and I was like, you must be out your mind. I was like, who wants to come see this blonde kid, this black blonde kid from England playing guitar? And like, it doesn't even sound real, does it? Like, and he was like, no, like, trust me, people want to see you. I was like, yeah, sure, mate. And when the tour went up and within like a few weeks it sold out, I remember calling him. I was like, I will never doubt you again. And again, it was one of those moments where it was super humbling to even think that people want to spend their time, you know, playing my music, but then to leave their houses and to buy tickets and to commute to come and see me is just such a privilege, you know, and I never take that for granted.
You have people that believe in you even more than you even were able to believe in yourself at that moment.
1,000%. And I think that's the beauty in my team. And, you know, my team, and by that I mean like everyone from my family to my management to my label, is that sometimes they see stuff that I'm not able to see and really help me to believe in myself. And I think it's so important to give credit where it's due, in that it's a team effort. And although I might be at the front of it, without the people that I'm surrounded with, I wouldn't be able to be here.
Myles, did you see yourself opening up for Imagine Dragons?
Nope.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's nuts.
Where were you when you heard about that possibility?
And I said, I was on the toilet, I think.
Yeah,
I was there, sitting there, having a great time. And I got a text and I was like, oh, interested. Let me finish what I'm doing and get back to it. And I remember like having to read it 3 or 4 times to check that it was real, because, you know, sometimes you just like, maybe I misread it or maybe I didn't. And then I called my manager. I was like, did you send this to like the wrong artist or what's going on? And he's like, no. It's like, oh, okay, cool, we're doing this. And then and it's just been one of those things where I'm like, until we stepped on stage like 2 days ago, I just did not believe it.
How was that?
Oh, so fun. It's like, this year's been so great. Like, to put into context, the first show that we did this year was like 80 people, and now we're playing to 20,000, and it's all happened within, you know, like a 7-8 month period, the growth. And even my own shows, you know, going from 80 people to now selling like 20,000 tickets in a day, it's happening quickly, but also in the context of starting when I was 10 years old, it feels timely as well, so it's really awesome.
And would you respond to those people back in high school or middle school that like picked you last on the team and now they're hitting you up asking for tickets?
I mean, you know, I'm still terrible at soccer, but I could play a guitar, and you know, I think it's for them, it's really nice for them to see the growth that I've done, but for me to be able to, like, you know, go back to the small town that I'm from and go, look, I've made something of this dream that I had from so young. I would just love to inspire a ton more people from the beginnings that I had to you know, go lean into their dreams and to go pursue their passions, and not to be, I guess, held in this invisible prison of what society deems you can and can't do. And hopefully, you know, me being this black blonde guy from the middle of nowhere inspires a bunch more in the generations to come.
Also seeing you on the Today Show, that is huge. When you make it on the Today Show, you made it.
Making
How
it.
was that here?
That was wild. Yeah, I mean, 3 a.m. start was definitely hard to wrap my head around, but to be on that show was something else, because like, I think it was great for my manager behind me, because like, he was like, my whole family watched that, you know, and I was like, we don't get it in the UK, but we know what it is. And so like, the first time watching the show was with me on it, which was like kind of crazy. And just to like then open my phone and see the amount of people from, you know, North America like message going, we've just seen you on the Today Show, I was like, oh, this is like big. And yeah,
Like,
it
you're
was
doing things.
yeah, I know. Even walking into this building today, I was like, oh, this is where we are. When you see all the signs and the symbols, like, oh, yep, this is happening, and it's really cool.
Oh, it is so cool. And we're so thankful that we get to share these moments with you.
Thank you.
Stargazing on the radio. Do you remember when you first heard it? Have you heard it yet play out here?
Yeah, I actually heard it in a Uber last time I was here. And I did that thing where I was like, I just Shazammed it and I showed the Uber driver. I was like, look,
Yes, that's what you should
I
do.
got no shame.
That's what you should do.
I got no shame whatsoever. I was like, look, it's me. It was like, cool. Bit like Dan from Bastille was like, really happy for you, mate, but a bit weird. And I was basking in it. I loved every moment of it.
You'll remember this moment in a second, okay, sir? I know right now it's not a big deal to you.
I was like, a Myles Smith. It was like, I'm 5 stars and a tip, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now like I said, we have it all over the country
It's
with the
awesome.
new hit list. How does it feel knowing that Stargazing, that single, is the one that's resonating?
It feels really, really good, you know, to be able to have a song that's doing what it's doing. But I think for me, it's really nice is just seeing it as an indicator that I'm moving in the right direction, and it isn't the be all and end all of who I am and the music that I have. And I think that it's just, yeah, proven to myself that I'm able to do it, but also just makes me excited to share more music and, you know, hopefully have 4, 5, 6, 10 Stargazings to come, you know.
Yeah. Well, we have the lyric video, we have a visualizer, we have all your live ones. When is the music video dropping?
The music video, I don't even know. I would lie to you and say a date.
You're like, I got this going on.
Yeah, man.
We'll shoot it right now.
Yeah, I'm on tour. I don't know. Sometime soon.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Congratulations again. Thank you so much. I know you're not into sports, but have you been catching up a little bit with the Olympics?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a few bits going on. I saw someone, didn't they win by like 10 seconds yesterday in the swimming or something like that? And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, that isn't fair at this point. That's just down the US are just like, we turning up. Yeah, so it's been cool. Simone Biles is just what? Like we should be talking about that right now because that's insane. That's like stargazing like times 100, you know, the feeling of that. So yeah, I've been keeping up with it. It's really awesome to see just people doing what they love and, you know, changing the world doing it.
Mm-hmm. And you're one of those people. We cannot wait to see you back here at Irving Plaza this fall. Congratulations again on everything.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing your time with us, and we can't wait to have you back.
Whoop. Appreciate it.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
C100.